We can get you a water.
Okay.
We now welcome Duke to the Media Center. We'll start by opening with a statement from Coach, and then we'll take questions for players, release the players, and then take questions for Coach. Coach, give us your thoughts.
Yeah, big time game. I mean, both teams played so hard. You know, that was a heck of a win for us. And to play this level of game at this time of the year is amazing for us. And I thought, thank you. One of your assists. Put them down for 7. I thought their 2 guards are really as good as any 2 guards in the country. They are big-time elite guards, and we did overall a good job against them. But they are elite. Trey did a hell of a job, and he only had 1 turnover, ran our team. I thought he did a really good job on Harper. He's still 7 for 19, I think, or something like that. Yeah, and but yeah, they can beat anybody. They can beat anybody, and they're primed to play us and our guys. I'm proud of them. They it's their 5th game to play at that level with that pressure. Cam hitting the free throws, and then the huge difference I think in the game was Marquise's play. You know, especially in the second half, just for a while there it was play after play, and we got a 12-point lead, and we had a chance to kind of, I'm not sure, knock them out, but we missed like 4 really good shots, a couple threes, and because they're winners, they came back, and we made a couple mistakes down the stretch, but we didn't miss free throws. So big win. I think we're tired definitely, and we got to get going again to play whoever we're going to play tomorrow. Is it noon? We play at noon. Yeah. All right. Thank you. That's it for me.
Let's take questions for Trey Jones and Marquise Bolden. Raise your hand. We'll bring you a mic. We'll start with Myron in the 4th row on the left side. And then we'll go to you, Keith.
Marquise, I'm not sure any player on this roster has faced more scrutiny than you from the time you arrived. What did it feel like today to sort of be the leader of this team and have the big game that you had here in Maui?
I really don't pay much attention to a lot of noise. I mean, I know that my coach and my teammates have my back, so that's really what matters most to me. And for us to come out and get this win today against a top 10 team, it means a lot.
We'll go to Keith in the 2nd row.
Trey, you were guarding Jared Harper for much of the game. How was guarding somebody who's so fast and so accurate at shooting those threes, especially down the stretch when you guys really needed to get a stop to put the game away?
Right, he's a really good player, like Coach said. The coaches gave us a great game plan against both of those guards, what to do, and I knew that my teammates had my back, no matter how I guarded them. So I felt like we did a pretty good job, and just did what we had to do to get the win.
Steve in the back right corner.
Trey, this is the first time this year you guys have faced game pressure like that, a single-digit game in the last 10 minutes. What was it like for you guys to be through that for the first time? What did you see from your teammates and how they handled it?
I feel like we handled it really well. We go through those situations all the time in practice. The coaches prepare us for situations like this. I feel like we handled the adversity, and we're able to make the plays to win the game.
We'll go to Dana in the front row and then back to Myron.
Marcus, I know you said you don't listen to the outside noise, but internally, how did you kind of keep yourself focused as you're kind of going through the ebbs and flows of your career and stay confident in yourself?
Just by staying positive and trusting the work that I put in. We have a great coaching staff that's willing to help me whenever I want it. So for us to just work as hard as I've done these 3 years, it's been good.
One thing I'd just like to mention for Marquise, Marquise is the first year he's been healthy the whole time. And so he has continuity of preparation, shape, and it's a big thing. It's a big thing. And he's made the most of it. He's really gotten in great shape, and he's taken great care of himself. And as a result, he's good. And he's good, and he's healthy.
Trey, how much different is this team? How much better is this team when Marquise is playing the way that he played today?
Right, we're a lot better, as you see, or as you saw today, what he's capable of doing. We knew all along what he was capable of doing. We knew he could play like this. It was only a matter of time for it to come out in game. So hopefully he can stay like this and he can bring us to the next level.
Second row, left side.
Marquise, talk about starting alongside the four freshmen there in the second half. You really came out strong and made those big defensive plays, and then that led to offense on the other side. Just how have you developed as a leader this year, playing alongside those guys?
Those guys are really talented. I mean, obviously, as everyone can see, and I just try to be that older guy on the court, talk, and just try to teach the guys everything that I wish I known coming in.
Back to Steve.
Marquise, back in October, you said you were really confident for the first time in your career here, and mostly because you were healthy. But how is your confidence level? Have you maintained it during that time during practice and during the season, and what did today do for that?
I mean, I know what I can do. I trust the work that I put in. So for me to come out and have good games, I mean, it's no surprise to me or my teammates.
One thing I say about him too, that this is the best by far that we've protected our basket in a few years. I mean, for a kid to get 7 blocks and chain shots in there, he was as good as he was in some of the offensive things. The defense was exquisite. It was at the highest level. 7 blocks and changing some shots, man. It's a heck of a performance.
Devon, second row.
Trey, Coach talks about you. You guys have kind of a positionless basketball, but it's clear that you're the floor general. What are some of the things that you try to do in those crucial moments to kind of get that momentum going with your team?
I try to surround them with a lot of talented players, as you guys know. And so my job, I feel like, is just be a leader for us, try to get us organized and get those guys in spots to be successful.
We'll take one final question for the players from Myron.
Marquise, as Coach mentioned, this first year you've been healthy. How frustrating were some of those previous years with the injuries you had to overcome?
Obviously, it was really frustrating. I mean, I hadn't really dealt with any injuries up until that point, and then for me to be coming into college so young, I mean, it was just kind of frustrating. But like I said, trusting my coaches, my teammates, we have a great training staff who gets us right. So, yeah, I just work with them every day and stay healthy.
Before they leave, I'd like one more thing about Marquise. In his freshman year, he was starting and then got hurt and then never got back to that level. His sophomore year, he's playing really well, and we have a lot of bigs, but we had a rotation, and they had an injury in January. And so he hasn't been the luckiest guy in the world. And we're proud of him because he's stuck in there. And we're fortunate, these freshmen are fortunate to have him on our team.
Thanks, guys. Congratulations. We'll let you get back to your team. Let's take questions for Coach. Devon, second row.
Coach, last night talked a little bit about, Zion kind of working through some frustration. It seemed like he got frustrated early on in this game, but it seemed like he kind of picked up in other ways. What kind of growth did you see from him in this game today?
I actually thought today he put some pressure on himself. He usually is a kid that's having a lot of fun. At one of the timeouts in the first half, I said, smile. I have fun. Like that's, I think he wants to be so good, and that we got to be careful for all these guys not to put pressure on themselves, and just to play the game because they love to play. And then he got better on it. He and Cam have to. It's part of learning. They have to stay away from silly fouls. And Cam only played 7 minutes in the first half and got his 3rd foul. And we try to maneuver that when a guy gets 2. So if we're going to win a big game, we need our main players in there. And his 3rd foul was really a silly foul, 90 feet from the bucket. And however, I thought he hit the biggest shot of the game when they hit their 3 to go down. They were down 5, and he came down. It wasn't called or anything. He just boom. He got us back to 8. That's a big time it's a big time play. And I thought that was the play of the game, really.
Steve in the back, and then Dana in front.
You guys have knocked teams out pretty much in the first half all year. I want to ask you a similar thing to what I asked Trey about the way they handled the first time in a tight situation. What did you see on their faces during timeouts, and how'd you lead the way they played?
No, it's what the season. I mean, you look at our league. We're going to be in a lot of games. You know, where we're going to get beat. You know, you can get beat and play well. And this team, it would be an outstanding team in any league. You know, a lot of these kids won the SEC regular season last year, and I can see why. And Bruce does a hell of a job of getting them to play so hard. And when they have Wiley out, they really spread you and shoot the three. And then Wiley is coming on. You know, these two games he's played better, a lot better than he did in the two previous games. So, and when they get Purifoy back, you know, they're right there. You know, and so to play this level of game at this time, and we'll play another one tomorrow, no matter who we play.
Dana.
Kind of regardless of who you play tomorrow, the bullseye is going to be, as it often is, on your guys' back. And you talked about them kind of having fun with this, but how do you manage this? Because the longer this boulder rolls along, the more the pressure becomes on them.
Yeah, I don't know if they. When I said that about Zion, I don't want you to think that I feel that these guys are all feeling pressure. I just thought he wasn't himself today to begin with, and then obviously he made some good plays. It's got to be fun for them, and they can't let. And I'll do everything I can not to let them think that everything is won in November or December, but what we need to do is just use the season to get better. And don't worry about, you know, no one gives a trophy for who's number one in November, December, January, or February, even March. And don't play for things that the outside wants you to play for. You know, play for what you want to play for, and that's fun, getting better. They really like each other, they love each other, and they play so hard. You know, for us at the end of the game, you know, we needed to understand time and score. We had a break and the ball on a 10-point lead, and we turned it over when we should have taken time and gone up by 12 or 13. You know, we had, until you're in those situations, you don't learn them. 8-point lead, inbounding the ball, we didn't post to get it, and they're playing hard. They've been in those situations, so we'll point those up, and you're not going to learn them. Experience is the best way to learn, and hopefully we can get that experience and win. But it might be that you get an experience and you lose too. So, but today they won, and I'm proud of them.
Gary.
Mike, this is a little off topic, so I apologize. But yesterday you mentioned getting a perfect 2-for-1 at the end of the first half.
Yeah.
And in both games, you're not auto benching guys with 2 fouls in the first half. Why do you think these are all normal things in the NBA? They're not normal in college basketball. Do you have an opinion on why more college basketball coaches don't do it?
I think, you know, there's so many ways to coach, so many different systems, and all of them at some time have won. So there's not a perfect way of doing it. I think you have to do what you believe is right. And so for my whole career, I've played guys with 2 fouls. And if I'm playing against a coach that doesn't play, then I try to go at that guy at different times during the half, because that's the best way to play defense on him. But again, sometimes when we've done that in the second half, that coach has beaten me. So, you know, it's not the perfect thing, but we've always gone 2-for-1. I think the international stuff that I've done helps me in that regard, because that's what those guys do. They do it, you know, just naturally, and it's beautiful when you get it done.
Final question on the left side.
All right. In the sport of basketball, there's the wrong play, the right play, and the necessary play. About 90% of the time, your team makes the right play or the necessary play. What do you attribute to the high acumen and basketball IQ of this team collectively?
Yeah, recruiting. Yeah. And then giving them a system where they're allowed to think and react, not where they You don't put them in a box. You let them grow freely. And so the development of their mind in the game is huge. And then through talk, if you can combine all 5 minds, then it's unbelievable. But I think that's the way kids get better. All of our guys get better. Every kid that plays for us gets better. And because we do that. And these kids are getting better. Hopefully they'll get a lot better.
One final question from Myron, then I'll let you get back to your team.
Myron, you have a lot of questions. No one talking to you on the beach? Or?
No, I know. I do have a lot of questions.
We'll send some people over.
All right, you should do that. About 4 years ago, Tyus Jones kind of stepped into a role as a leader on this team. Now we're watching Trey. How do they compare in terms of their maturity level at this stage of their careers?
Really, the maturity level the same. Actually, Trey's ahead of him in defensively because Tyus played only zone in high school. But the ability of understanding the game, being there to make big plays, great teammate, all the stuff. You know, they have all the intangibles. The Jones boys have all the intangibles. Whatever Debbie Jones has fed them has worked. And I think the other thing is Trey's more ready maybe than even Tyus was because Trey has Tyus. Tyus had his older brother. He didn't have a guy who went through all this, and they're so close. They're you know, Tyus flew from California in between games to see his brother in his first game, and ironically, it's the same city that Tyus ended his career. Trey, you know, I don't know, that karma stuff. It's kind of cool. And you know what? Just a lot is said about Jimmy Butler, good, bad, and you know, Jimmy provided the transportation to have you know, Trey's brother Tyus there. I texted him right after the game, and you know, he played for us on the Olympic team, and that's a hell of a they're basketball people. You know, they just have lived the game, and we're benefiting from that. You know, no question about it. Okay.
Thank you for your time,
Thanks.
Coach.